Today on Divorce Court. All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Morbido v. Bell.
Thank you very much, Miss Morbido. Miss Bell, it's a pleasure to have you here on Divorce Court. And welcome to Divorce Court today. Today, our litigants are trying to decide whether or not there's enough left in the tank to actually pull the trigger and get married. A long-distance relationship is how it started. They finally got together, but there's some problems that have reared their head. Let's figure it out together. Miss Morbido, why are we in court?
I love my wife with everything that I have, to the point where I have sacrificed everything for her, including my own family. And at this point, I can't sacrifice anything else. If she is cheating on me, after everything that I have been able to do for her and have given up for her, I can't go through with the wedding.
Miss Bell, did you hear what Miss Morbido said?
Yes.
What do you say?
I'm here because Bear's my always and forever. I can't imagine a life without her, but I need her to loosen the leash she is strangling me with. She's gotten so controlling I can't even stand it anymore. I can't keep her on if she's going to accuse me of cheating and lying and sneaking around.
And you say that that's just not true.
It's not.
Ms. Bell, you think this relationship is worth fighting for?
I do. I believe it with all of my heart. I'd give anything for her.
So we're going to find out where this lack of trust comes from. Why don't you take me back, Ms. Morbido? You guys have been together, it says on my court papers, 9 years.
We met when we were kids on an online site with writing.
Okay.
Was one of our common interests. And we did start out as friends, but we figured out that we have so much in common that why not take it to the next level?
You sort of grew up together.
Yes. She means everything to me. I left behind everything, including my family. I chose her over them.
How did that come about?
My family never approved of the relationship. One particularly close relative actually refused to help me at all because she thought that the move was a stupid one on my part. And she caused a lot of issues, including going so far as to call the police and say that Milo was hurting me to the point of she actually ended up accusing Milo of murdering me, to the point where the police said that they had to hear from me to even make sure that Milo was telling the truth when she said, oh no, I have her right here.
In other words, they did a wellness check on you.
Yes, ma'am.
To make sure that you were not dead or injured.
Yes, ma'am.
That's extreme. Miss Bell, did you know that all this was going on in Miss Morbido's life?
We always knew that this person was going to be a problem in the long run, but we never thought it would get that far. And when it happened, it was terrifying. They broke into our house while we weren't there, and it was the first time I've ever offered Bear an ultimatum.
And what was that ultimatum?
That if you don't leave, then you leave me.
So a relative has gotten to the point where Miss Morbido had to choose. And Miss Morbido, you chose Miss Bell.
I did.
That's pretty tough.
It was. It was heartbreaking because that family member turned the rest of my family against me, to the point where I actually only have 2 people left in my family. The hardest part for me is that I ended up losing my siblings in that cut contact. Thank you. And one of them is graduating this year, and I can't even be there for him.
I'm so sad to hear that people's own biases and prejudices have caused you so much pain. I'm here to tell you that you're allowed to be your authentic self. There are people who will like you and who will love you as your authentic self. But you will not if you're not authentic. I wanted to get the background because I can see that you all built on a foundation that said we love each other, we trust each other, but something changed. So, Miss Morbido, what makes you think that your fiancé would be a cheater and a liar?
She spends so much time on the phone with her best friend, and when we were still in Ohio, she spent so much time with her and away from me. And the most incriminating piece of evidence I found while I was cleaning out our car.
Tell me what it was.
It was a receipt for a restaurant that I know that we had never been to together. and it was totaling for almost $130. And I knew that that was a lot more than anyone could spend on themselves. So I finished cleaning the car, and I kept that receipt with me so that way when she came home that night, I brought it up to her and I said, "What is this for? What happened?"
And I told you very clearly that it was because I took my friend out, whose dad had died around the same time years prior, to make sure that she didn't do anything risky.
I don't understand what the problem is. Had she done something to make you not trust her?
And because I had also found hair ties in her car, and as you can see, our hair is not long enough.
And you knew we had long-haired friends. Everything I do is under speculation all of the time. I have no breathing room. If I make a mistake or say something, then
Give me an example. I need to know what specifically you're talking about.
Okay, if I say I'm going out, and I don't say who with or, you know, what time I'll be back, suddenly it's I'm going to track you on your Snapchat and see where you are. I was at Kings Island. It's a fun amusement park in Ohio. It's great. And I was with my best friend, and we were on rides. I can't take out my phone when I'm on a roller coaster. That's not...
Is this the first best friend that you spent $120 on? Or is this
best friend? Her name's Mackenzie. She's here today, and she's been my friend for 9 years.
And let me guess, Miss Morbido, you don't particularly care for Mackenzie.
I don't.
I know there's always an underline. I knew there was something. I figured there's a reason that you don't trust is because you don't particularly care for this young lady that she's spending time with. Is that fair?
That's very fair. It's true. I don't.
Do you think they should get married?
Personally, no, especially with the amount of fighting that they're going through. I had a lot of respect for their relationship, and I didn't want to get in the middle of that.
I've seen pictures of the two of you together.
You two are the ones that are in the relationship. I have respect for boundaries.
Clearly you don't.
I'm having trouble understanding why you're so insecure about your relationship when you all both came in here and told me how much you loved each other.
Because the time when I couldn't get a hold of her at Kings Island, I was still under the impression that she had gone there alone, when she was horribly depressed. So I got concerned for her well-being, and so I drove up to Kings Island. And the first place that I looked was at her favorite ride. And I was there in the distance, just enough time to see all of them get off her favorite ride. And lo and behold, there she is with Mackenzie, hugging. And before that sounds weird, there's a very clear difference between, oh, I'm hugging my best friend, to, oh, that's a really long hug you got going on there.
So it looked more like they were a couple than they were just friends hanging out.
Absolutely. So I admit that I had gone up to them and I demanded to know what was what. And I quite literally said, were you here hooking up?
I actually think that's a fair question. Were you there hooking up?
No, I don't know what I'm gonna do on a roller coaster. I mean, that's a great place to get handsy, right?
There are bathrooms, multiple.
Do I look like a dollar grade hoe to you?
That's a very valid question, but I tell you what, I love the fact that your best friend, Mackenzie Vulich, has said, let's put this to rest. And so the court asked if it was okay to call her as a witness, and you both agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will you please ask the witness to join us, Corey?
Sure thing. Ma'am.
Hi there.
Hi.
Please tell me your name.
Mackenzie Vulich.
Okay, Miss Vulich, you are dear friends with the defendant, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how long have you and Miss Bell known each other?
8 going on 9 years.
Have you all lived in the same area for that amount of time?
Not the entire time, but a good portion of it.
So what do you think of the relationship between the two of them since you've been the best friend and you've been around?
I would say tense. Whenever I'm around them, like they fight a lot. They're always fighting.
So why do you think that Miss Morbido doesn't like you?
Me and Milo, we were very close, and we were constantly hanging out. Like, we were hanging out every day.
That's what best friends do. They hang out.
Yeah.
And so once Miss Morbido moved to your location, then I have to imagine some of that hanging out dissipated. It went away.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a specific. I understand there was an incident when you and Miss Bell went to explore a building. What happened?
Yeah, after we ended up exploring that building, we ended up going back to Milo's house. And when we did, Bear was going off on us. She was attacking Milo pretty much for not telling her what we were doing. And then she was also mad at me because she felt like I wasn't going to be able to protect her and that I was irresponsible and putting her in a bad situation.
But aren't you just two 20-something-year-olds just hanging out?
In an abandoned building that should be condemned, that they've been hanging out in multiple times before I even got up there, and I got to hear about all the, oh, hey, the floor collapsed, almost died. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It sounds
Until I wasn't allowed to do it anymore.
Okay, it sounds like 20-year-old shenanigans.
Yeah, normal things that people
pretty
would
much.
not overthink if they were normal.
Oh, okay.
Miss Village, they're supposed to get married. How do you all plan to manage this best friendship? Because you're 20-something and you all like to hang, and I don't see anything wrong with the hanging, but for some reason, Miss Morbido feels like it's something more. Is there something you want to say, Miss Bell?
I give up everything too. My family looks at me every day like I'm gonna burn in hell because of her. And I was willing to risk that. I could have had a totally normal relationship and they would have been fine with it.
Do you think they should get married?
Personally, no. I don't think that they should, especially with the amount of fighting that they're going through. But I mean, at the same time, I also have my own reservations about it because I actually have liked Milo since like school.
Is it
Like I've had a thing for Milo since school.
Miss Bell, did you know that?
No.
She did.
Miss Village, have you expressed those feelings to Miss
No.
Bell?
Because I had a lot of respect for their relationship and I didn't want to get in the middle of that.
And nothing happened in terms of an intimate setting as it relates to you and Miss Bell, is that correct?
Yeah, no. That's correct.
So you respected the boundaries?
Yes.
Miss Bell, did you ever know that Miss Village was feeling a romantic interest in you, not just a platonic friendship?
No, I thought we were best friends. I mean, we still are, but if she felt that way, she would have told me that, and she never told me that. So no, I had no idea.
You really had feelings for her this entire time, and you were just, and you knew that we were together, and yet you still were like, oh yeah, let's go hang out. I've seen pictures of the two of you together.
You're gonna twist that as
Okay.
she felt that way towards me, and then
It's
a
obvious.
problem that she didn't act on it?
Why would I act on it if you two are the ones that are in the relationship? I have respect for boundaries.
Clearly you don't.
But wait, Miss Morbido, I have not heard Miss Village do anything that was inappropriate. As a matter of fact, according to Miss Bell, she didn't even know Miss Village felt that way.
If I did, we would have had a conversation about it, but it should speak more to her character about the fact that she never did anything when she felt that way for God knows how long. You should respect her more because of it.
Miss Morbido, I didn't hear Miss Village say that they've done anything that, but I see you shaking your head and you don't believe it.
I don't, because at the end of the day, she's already admitted that she doesn't want the wedding to go through. She's never liked us together, and all they need to do is paint me like the bad guy and they get away with it scot-free.
Well, this is the one thing that I can help with because, Miss Bell, you were willing to take a polygraph examination to put these fears to rest. Am I correct?
I have nothing to hide.
So why don't we get to the results? Corey, would you please ask the expert to join us?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Sir.
Because we need to start from a place of truth and honesty, and then we'll see if there's anything left in this relationship. Hello, Mr. Yarborough.
Good day, Your Honor.
Mr. Yarborough, please state your name for the record and tell me about your professional affiliations.
My name is John Yarborough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner, also a member of the American Polygraph Association, and I have conducted hundreds of polygraphs for law enforcement and other public safety agencies across the state, as well as professional and private polygraphs.
I've found you more than qualified to provide services to this court, and I asked you to put 3 questions to her. The first question, we asked Ms. Bell, did you have any sexual contact with the person that left those hair ties in your car?
That is correct.
What was Ms. Bell's answer?
Ms. Bell answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception indicated to that question.
Thank
She
you
was
very
being
much.
Off to a
Ms.
rising
Bell
start.
answered that question truthfully.
That is correct.
The second question we asked Ms. Bell, since starting your relationship with Ms. Morbido, Have you had any sexual contact with your friend, Miss Fullage? Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And what was Miss Bell's answer?
Ms. Bell answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception indicated to that question.
And so she told the truth.
She was being truthful in her answer to that question, Your Honor.
And the third question, we asked Miss Bell, while in a relationship with Miss Morbido, have you had sexual contact with anyone other than her?
That is correct.
And what was Miss Bell's answer?
Ms. Bell answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was deception indicated to that question.
You thought you could beat the box, but I always ask one question too many. Mr. Yarborough, I thank you for your services as usual.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
I think we have something to talk about. What's going on, Miss Bell? It's not Miss Fullage, but there's somebody else that you've cared about and had some sort of intimate contact with in some way. Is that true?
Yeah.
Were these 9 years nothing to you?
Miss Fullage, you may have something that you want to express to Miss Bell, but this may not be the time to do it because she needs to resolve a lot of other issues with her. I think you'd agree with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Fullage, you might want to find somebody that matches your level of character and integrity to bring them into your life because you seem like a very nice young lady who does not cross boundaries, and I'd be proud to have you as my best friend also.
Thank you.
Thank you. Corey, you can escort the witness out.
Sure thing. You want to follow me this way?
Thank you, Miss Fullage.
Who was it? I lost everything. I lost the car of my dreams, my family. I put up with your family.
Is there something you want to say, Miss Bell?
She has no right to say that, regardless of what happened. She is not the only one who gave up for that. I give up everything too. My family looks at me every day like I'm gonna burn in hell because of her. I was willing to risk that. I could have had a totally normal relationship and they would have been fine with it.
You can
I
have
gave
that
her up my
relationship.
time.
You can have it. You can have your rings back too.
Ladies,
Because clearly you made your choice.
let me say this to the two of you. You needed to spend some time in person to find out if this is what you want. You're allowed to make mistakes, but what you're not allowed to do is take somebody else along on that journey and break their heart. That's what you're not allowed to do. You can see who you want to see, but you shouldn't be lying to your partner. If this is not the time for you to make a long-term commitment, then don't make a long-term commitment. There's nothing wrong with that, ma'am. It's fair to say you're not ready to be in a long-term committed relationship. It's time for you to move on. Stop hurting each other. It's not fair. And if you can find your way back, go with God. But if not, move on with dignity. That's my verdict.
Today on Divorce Court.
I'm having a lot of relationship problems with my wife and her cheating.
I feel like a lot of the issues in my relationship are due to the fact that my family abandoned me. I feel that it causes a lot of my infidelity and I seek love from other females.
I gave her multiple chances. I'm not allowing it no more. If it happens again, I'm done.
I want the judge to tell Michelle everyone makes mistakes and my mistakes are based upon what I went through growing up.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Terriana Hoskins Brown and Michelle Brown. The two of you have been together for 5 years, married for the last 2, but there are complications and considerations, and you have come to me to help work them out. Ms. Hoskins, I'm going to call you Ms. Hoskins, just for ease of reference, okay? Ms. Hoskins, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why you believe you're having difficulty today?
Well, I met Michelle in 2012. I actually met her, started off talking to her through a fake page. I was a catfish. I was using someone else's pictures to look for love, thinking, you know, she'll like me for the looks.
Don't say who, like as in person, but what did the person look like whose picture you used?
She was light-skinned. She had like real curly hair. She dressed like a guy like I did as well. She had colored eyes.
How long were you catfishing her before she figured it out, or before you told her?
I only catfished her for about probably a month or so, or 2 months at tops, maybe.
And then you told?
No, I didn't tell her right away. It probably was like a year or two before I even told her that was me behind the page.
But behind the page,
yeah.
Okay. Ms. Brown,
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you communicate with Ms. Hoskins before you found out she was catfishing you?
Well, I found out about the fake. I didn't know it was a fake page at first. We was just conversating. And then after a while, like when me and her got back together, probably 2014, she finally told me it was a fake page, and it was her the whole time.
So she met you as the catfish person, but also met you in as herself.
Yeah.
And then finally she told you that both of those were the same person.
Well, we met personally first, and then the catfish started happening.
Oh, I got you. Why did you do that? I mean, when you met personally first, did you get along? Why did you feel the need to catfish her?
Trying to get some money, and it wasn't gonna work.
I didn't.
Were you trying to get some money and it didn't work?
I did ask her for money at the time. I'm young and she was older and I didn't have a job, so I mean.
So why not?
Why not? Anyone.
Yeah. Were you angry when you found out?
No, I laughed.
Didn't matter?
It really didn't, because the conversation didn't go nowhere. It wasn't like we spent hours as this person talking.
Right.
Like, she tried to conversate, and we was conversating, but it didn't go that far.
Did anybody in your family, or either side when you were raised, have problems with the fact that you were a lesbian, or did they know?
Family members call me distresses all the time about being lesbian.
Are you still attached to any family
No,
other
I
than
don't
your
talk-
wife, Mrs. Brown?
Talk to any family at all to this day.
So she's it as far as family is
Yes.
concerned, is
Correct.
Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown, how's your relationship with your family? Is it good?
I wouldn't say it's good, but I wouldn't say it's bad. I got certain family members that I'm closer to than others.
Right. Some accept it, some don't.
Right.
Gotcha. What do you say is the primary problem in this relationship?
Our communication and her not being honest about things. Like, I'm the type of person I would prefer for you to tell me how you feel or what's going on or whatever the case may be, than me having to go do what I do to find out information on what you're doing.
So she doesn't tell you the truth. You got to go look and investigate and figure out what's going on.
I am Detective Shell, and I get down to the bottom of everything.
Well, what kind of things do you do to detect the truth?
Well, I
Hack my
reset
Gmail.
Google accounts, I reset Facebook, I pretend like I'm her and talk to the females. Yes, I get down to the bottom of everything. Nothing's gonna slide.
Is she having inappropriate conversations with other women?
Yeah.
Is that true, Ms. Hoskins?
Yeah.
Mrs. Hoskins, why?
Basically, like she said, there's no communication, and if I feel like I can't talk to her, I go to another woman to talk to them.
Why do you feel there's no communication? What do you think the communication problem is?
Man, everything. I feel like
She says you're a hothead. Is that true?
I am. I'm a hothead.
You know, that doesn't encourage people to confide in you. If they confide in you and you blow up, that kind of keeps them from talking to you.
And I tell her that all the time.
You're on top of that, right?
Yeah, but
you understand that?
Yeah, sometimes I just don't agree with the stuff she say, and I take it and get hot-headed about it, you know, which is wrong, but I mean, it happens.
It happens.
She
you know
get-
you can work on that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
trying
something
to-
you need to do for you.
Yeah.
As opposed to just for her.
Yes.
But you need to do that for you. So I want to get into this a little more, so I'm going to take a moment and just figure out just how hot you get and all of the things that you do when you do get angry.
When I dress like that, she think I'm up to something.
No,
like,
only if it's the dress is too little or she trying to do too much in the dress or the skirt. That's when I have an issue or a
Well, so
problem.
she's got to hit a range for you.
Yes.
It's got to be more than sweatpants, but less than a tight dress. Mrs. Brown, tell me some of the things she says to you when she's angry.
You know, I just don't want to say certain things.
Just a whole lot of foul stuff
Yeah.
that is, do you do that?
I do it, but not to hurt her.
Well, why do you do it, if not to hurt her?
Just to see it. Like, I mean, it gets under her skin, but like, it just be the moment. The arguments be so heated to the point that, you know, I just say whatever comes to my brain first. Like,
I just want to clarify something for you. You are saying it to hurt her. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it. You're hurt, you're angry, whatever it is, and so you pull out a phrase that you know will click her to the core. You don't say, you're really short, because it's not true. See, it wouldn't hurt her to say she's short.
Right.
You know what I mean? You say things that would hurt her. So don't pretend that that's not what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay? I understand she also insults your appearance. Is that true?
Yeah.
What did she say?
It just be different things, like I may not comb my hair a certain day, or I may not feel like putting on clothes. And me, I'm a person, like, as a wife now, and having a 7-year-old, it don't revolves around, oh, let me get cute and all that. It's just more so of, I like being at home. I'm an at-home body, so I dress how I feel. And certain things she say, it bothers me.
Right.
It really
I
does.
don't call her bad.
Mrs. Haskins, what do you have to say? I'm sorry.
I don't, like, insult her appearance, like her weight, her looks, nothing like that. Yes, like, I feel like, you know, when we're going outside, you know, just put
Fix
nice
up a bit.
Like, right, that's all. That's it. That's it. Like, I don't care about weave in her head or any of that.
Who
Like,
attention am I trying to catch, though?
My mother told me this once after I got married. She said, don't get comfortable. You know, don't get so comfortable that you never worried that whether or not he's looking at you.
Right.
You always want him to want to look at you.
Right.
So don't get comfortable.
But then when I dress like that, she think I'm up to something.
no,
like,
only if it's the dress is too little or she trying to do too much in the dress or the skirt. That's when I have an issue or a
Well, so
problem.
she's got to hit a range for you.
Yes.
It's got to be more than sweatpants, but less than a tight
It
dress.
could be sweatpants. I don't care. That's cute. Sweatpants. I mean, a nice shirt. I don't have to. It could be a point. I mean, it just. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know what the rules are?
There's no rules. No rules to dressing. That's what you're saying. No rules to dressing.
Well, but you have objections to one end and objections to the other one, so there are rules. You may not want to call them that, but when you object to certain things, you have standards you want her to meet, correct?
It's not. I wouldn't call them standards. Like if we going outside, like put a bra on. That's all. I'm like something
Yeah, well,
something like
that's a standard.
that.
It's a simple standard, but it's a standard. You
I
don't
like
want
to
to flop it
feel
about.
free.
What?
I like to be free.
You like to be free. Oh, my
I
Lord,
don't like
my
it.
Lord, my
I
Lord.
like-
So I want to move on to another subject that was it's not something that you discussed, but it's something that I see. You know, Mrs. Hoskins, you're 22, and Mrs. Brown, you're 28.
Yes.
So you've been married since you were 19? Mm-hmm. You're very, very young to be married. And I want to talk to you about why you got married so young, and do you believe that your age has in some way causes some of the difficulties you have in your marriage?
Even if I did cheat, who admits to cheating? Like, just straight off the back, like, if you are...
Some folks do. This is
Well-
divorce court. I've heard it all.
Well, you did.
How would you react to your partner giving you a dress code? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. You married a young one.
I did.
You did. Do you believe that her maturity and her level of growth is such that it's causing difficulties in your marriage?
I don't, honestly, because I was dating her much younger, as you know, than what she was, and she was way more mature then than what she is now.
Well, tell me what she's doing now that makes her so immature.
Just like lying, the cheating, just doing stuff that don't make me happy.
Yeah. When she's cheating, what is she doing?
In my book, cheating is cheating. You can, whether you holding a conversation, whether you telling her she pretty, it's all fall under cheating to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask you this. Has she ever physically cheated on you to your knowledge?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Tell me what circumstance you believe in which she physically cheated on you.
I mean, I had never met the girl or whatever, and Tariana told me it was a stud, and it really wasn't. It was a female, and she said they did something one time. Tariana denied it. Then she finally told me, yeah, it was one time, and she felt bad about it.
Did that happen?
No, I never. First of all, even if I did cheat, who admits to cheating? Like, just straight off the back, like, if you are...
Some folk do. This is divorce court. I've heard it all.
Well, you did.
But did you ever cheat on her physically?
No.
You say no.
The most I ever did was kiss a female.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Do you cheat on her emotionally? Do you have emotional ties with other women?
That's where I cheat on her with, when I'm having conversations and, you know, with other females. That's considered cheating, telling a female that I love them or not, you know, that type of stuff. That's what I do.
Yeah. Now, do you see that as something wrong, or do you see that as something you should be able to do if, in fact, you're not actually doing anything physical?
I know it's wrong, but I mean, like I said, if I don't have any communication with her, going to these other females and them being like there was a little bit, you know, that easier to talk to if I'm going through something or whatever. I mean...
Well, let me ask you, when you say you can't communicate with her, if you raise an issue, what happens? Does she simply refuse to talk?
Yeah, I mean, she can go days without talking to me, like, so.
I'm very stubborn.
You can go for days without talking?
Yep.
Give me an example of a subject that is so important that you go for days without talking to her.
The last situation where I had somebody staying with me that she was dealing with, they kissed or whatever, but the girl told me way much more because she thought I was Tariana. Like I said, I played
you went
like...
in as her.
Yeah.
Right.
So she told me a little more that Tariana wasn't telling me. And it just made me flip out on the whole situation to where I just lost it because I have so much build up inside of me because of so much I deal with her that she don't understand.
Tell me what you're dealing with, because I'm out here, I'm kind of lost in the ocean. I'm not quite sure what's happening at your house.
Like, far as conversations, I feel like with communication, we can't communicate because one, take it personal or take it the wrong way that it come out. Like me, I tend to talk too much or talk too fast, and it may come out the way that I didn't mean it, but she'll take it.
And that's what trigger me and make me go off and call her.
Give me an example of something he said to you that triggered you and made everything go haywire.
Like the simple stuff, like, man, both of us are Leos, so we're lions. And when I would, you know, say something, I'd be like, you know what, you irritated me. You know, I don't care about your attitude. I don't care. You know, you could be mad. You know, things like that. Saying you don't care about me being irritated or getting irritated, that's not communication. Figure out why I don't care. You know, but figure out why I'm irritated. Not say you don't care. That makes me even more mad.
Mrs. Osson, let me help you for it. You can't put the onus on somebody else to figure out why you're irritated. Since you know why you're irritated, if the onus is upon you to tell. I mean, half
of the time she knows why I'm irritated.
But no, they don't know. They're not in your head. Everybody was raised differently. Everybody has different expectations. They had different upbringings. They have different issues. So you can't presume that she would be fully cognizant of your irritations. That's like communication 101. I see what part of your problem is. It's more than an age gap, what we have here. It's communication issues, and that's what I want to talk about next. Which of the following behaviors do you define as cheating? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. I'm going to say this, because what we're talking about here is two women who can't talk to one another. Because there's anger and agitation, there's assumptions. There's a way to have a conversation in which you actually exchange information. When you two contend to have a conversation, all you're doing is exchanging frustrations. You're telling the other person how upset you are, but you're not telling you what you're upset about, why it's upsetting, and how you need to fix it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Yes. You guys need to sit down with someone that teaches you how to have a conversation. And a conversation is always an exchange of information. And if you're hooping and hollering, yelling and fussing, it's like writing your point of view on the side of a missile. You may be right, but the truth gets destroyed in the explosion. So you've accomplished nothing whatsoever. So the first fight you have, and any fight you have with someone else, is with yourself. You have to fight your anger, you have to fight your distress, you have to fight your fear, and you have to come across as a rational person. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, in general, I can't even get, you guys are so deep into your inability to communicate, I don't even understand what the nature of the problems are, because you couldn't communicate them to me. And I don't think you really know what's wrong. I think you know how you feel, but you don't know what's causing that.
I mean, the communication is what's causing it.
No,
I mean,
but you have to be communicating about something. And you have to know what that something is, or else you can't communicate about it.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to know what your ask is, what you're trying to get done. You don't want to just tell her you're frustrated. You want to tell her what you're frustrated about and what specifically you need her to do to resolve it.
Okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I'm gonna send you somebody to get you started, and hopefully you'll be able to learn a thing or two, and we can get you back on the right track. Okay. Best of luck to both of you. This matter is adjourned. I met a lively couple in court this morning. I don't care who you are, if you don't have good communication skills, your marriage starts out with a disadvantage. You are about to see how that very problem landed today's couple in divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
I'm here today with Lashea Woods and Trinae Woods. The two of you have been together for 5 years. You've been married for the last year, but you're already having trouble. And Trinae, you say you don't want to stay married anymore because you have trust issues with Lashea. Why don't you tell me what kind of issues you have?
I have trust issues because she got 4 kids.
Right.
Okay. I just think she's still attracted to men. Like, we go to the store. She give like little googly eyes, like you know, like. Mm-hmm. And I don't look at her, but I look on the corner of my eyes, and I see that. I be like, I see you looking, so I get mad, and I say something to her.
What do you say to her?
I see you looking at the dude. You know you like dudes still. She like, I don't like dudes, I only like females. So I'm like, okay, if you like females, why when you see attractive, she like dudes. So if you see somebody attractive, why do you? She give me the look. She give them the look that she give me. So.
Have you ever, I'm gonna get to you, have you ever caught her doing anything suspect?
Yeah.
Text messages, something.
Okay, for instance. Okay, I was out with a friend, we went out. she calling me like, when are you coming? When are you coming home? When are you coming? I'm like, I'll be there. I'll be there. I come by. It's a friend of a family car coming out the back way. I'm like, why is he? Okay, why is he here? So I go upstairs. I'm like, shit. I asked. I'm like, so and so was so and so here? She like, no. I'm like, so why was the car here? Like, why did I see the car?
Just leave.
Leave, yeah. I checked. I did a smell check. I smell condoms. I'm like, I smell condoms. Why do you smell like condoms? Ain't nobody been there. That's what. I didn't understand that. So that she gave me all reason not to trust her.
Lashaya, let me ask you this. Do you still have eyes for guys?
No, I don't. No.
Not at all?
No, I don't.
So when she sees, looking at you, she's making up the googly eyes.
She lied,
and the
for one.
interest.
For two, she was with a family member. She wasn't with friends. They went to a strip club thing. So we got into it, and she was gone. I'm living with her and her family. So I'm like, you know, I left, I came back. We were supposed to meet back up. You know, I'm here. Where you at? Okay, I doze off. I wake back up. You're still not here. What are you doing? Why can't I not be concerned with where you're at? After I just caught pictures on social media, I see a picture with her tagged in it with her pants half unbuttoned with a picture of an exotic dancer.
Now, Ms.
So I was calling.
Now, Trinae, were you on social media a bit undone with an exotic dancer?
It was a stripper. Okay, look, the stripper picked me out the crowd. I'm laying on the floor. She picked me out the crowd.
On stage? Like, you got on the floor on stage?
No, it was like a party.
You made yourself available.
It was a party.
Uh-huh.
But you know they dancing. Then she picked me, so I laid on the floor.
Right.
So she come doing a little dance. So my pants went down though.
Let me ask you
but my
this.
shirt was up though.
If you saw Lashaya in that position with a person like that on social media, would you be upset?
Oh yeah, I'm going crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna be mad. But
so why is it okay for you to do it?
It ain't okay, but.
But you did it.
Yeah, I did do it. But it's not okay though.
Now that we're on social media, let me ask you this. You say Trinae puts too much of her life and her business out in the public through social media. Explain to me some of the things that she's done other than this one time, which we which we clearly understand was an error.
Okay, social media. That's her diary. That's her way of getting attention. That is her way of making it seem like she wants to be available.
What kind of things does she put on social media?
I'm going to tell you. So she tells people that I'm a follower. What type of wife would let their husband go to work hungry and horny? So that's making herself available.
Are you disparaging her on social media, saying she's not doing her wifely duties?
No, I do. Let me tell you why I do that. Let me tell you why I do that.
So that's a yes.
No,
you do it. You said no. You said let me tell you why I do that.
No,
so you must do it.
No, I don't. I do it because she do it. Listen. She put on. Okay, for instance, she like, I want a divorce. Why do you got to put it on social media? So I'm like, okay, you want a divorce? I'm gonna put it out there. I'm single. If you want a divorce, you tell everybody you want a divorce. So I'm like, okay, why can't I do it then?
Did you put you wanted to get a divorce from your wife on social media without telling her?
I did tell her. I shared her post and said, this is the reason why I want a divorce. So I can't post on her social media. So I shared her post to mine. So this is what we do. Some of her friends requested me because of the stuff that she puts on there. So I went ahead and accepted them. Let them see. You want to see both sides of the story? Here we go.
But
so yes, I did.
So you two have arguments via third party on social media? You get angry, and instead of discussing it with one another, you put up posts?
I can't talk to her. She yelled at me. I can't just come, okay, babe, let's talk about this. You know what she do?
What does she do?
She yells at me like, I can't talk to you if you're yelling. I'm talking about yell like.
Stop.
Yell like, shit, I can't talk to you if you're yelling at me. So I just sit there and just let it go through one ear after the other until she calm down and talk to me like I'm an adult.
Are you a rational person when you get angry?
No, it's the way that she talks to me makes me
talks
irrational.
like I'm a kid. I'm not a kid, so talk to me like you want me to talk to you.
She doesn't say, let's talk. Trene's a shut down type person. She'll say what she has to say, just like she said. Oh, so you was looking at the dude. You giving him googly eyes. You like dudes, huh? No, I don't. Yeah, you do, because I seen you. So it's like she's persistent. She's like a police officer that's trying to tell somebody, you committed this murder, but they have video, they have receipts, they have an alibi. But she's that cop that will tell you, no, you were here, you just committed this murder. She's that type of talk, and whatever she says goes. Then I say something, she takes it out of context.
Because what I say be right.
Okay.
How am I supposed to feel like that person for you if you accuse me of these things that I don't do? How am I supposed to?
You give me a reason to accuse you.
Have you been living together for years but find that splitting up is as complicated as getting a divorce? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Trene, you say your sex life is non-existent.
Right. Okay, go ahead. No, good.
Go right ahead.
Listen. When we first started talking, before we even got married, she used to perform. I'm talking about act, do everything. Everything, like, you know what I'm talking about? So now, since we got married, she go like, okay, we're planning. We got to plan it now. Okay, we're gonna do.
You got to schedule it.
Yeah, but she falls asleep. She don't give it to me till I get mad. I got to get mad for her to just, okay, come on.
We have 4 kids.
But
I have 2 jobs.
It's not like they're babies.
Let me ask you this.
I have 2 jobs and 4 kids.
Listen,
and I'm the one that deals with all of these.
Lachey, let me ask you this, though. I don't see the less sex because you got 4 kids thing. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense to me. There's got to be another reason.
No, she accuses me of coworkers, neighbors. How am I supposed to feel like? How am I supposed to feel like that person for you if you accuse me of these things that I don't do? How am I supposed to?
You give me a reason to accuse you. I wouldn't accuse you if it wasn't a reason.
Trene, look at Lachey.
I see, but she always cries.
But it doesn't mean anything to her.
It do mean something to me.
Trene, hang on, just a minute. No. I want you to listen to me. You got a wife of 1 year who is in tears behind the fact that you continue to accuse her of doing something you really don't have any evidence that she's doing. And you are convinced, mind like a steel trap. On top of it, she's cheating. And you've told me nothing that would convince me that she is. Can you at least get your arms around the fact that you might possibly be mistaken
or have
and simply jealous?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I sacrificed everything for her.
But she accused me too, though.
Trene?
She don't want to feel like she accused, like.
You have to look at yourself and get yourself together before you can look at the needs, problems, or distractions of someone else. And I'm asking you to look at you. I'm asking you to face your jealousy, your insecurity, and your fear. You have not told me anything rational that would lead me to believe that she's cheating on you, yet you are so convinced and so angry, and you're posting about it, and you're making it your life, and there's no indication that there is. You said you did a smell check. Come on now.
That's another.
Come on.
Condom.
I don't think you have a nose that sensitive that you could detect the smell of an absent condom. Do you understand what I'm saying? You had made a decision in your head by the time you got to sniffing that she had cheated. So you were going to detect whether it was there or not. Give me one other fact that would make me believe.
Okay, for instance, she go to Oakland. She go to Oakland by herself. We married. Why are you by yourself?
That's my hometown where
Stop.
my family lives.
All right, she go to Oakland 4th of July.
I travel on my own all the time. What's that mean?
I call her phone. Well, mind you, when she get there, I ain't talk to her all day. It gets nighttime, dark. I'm like, okay, the firecracker start. I'm like, okay, let me I called her. I called my wife. She didn't answer the phone. So I'm like, okay, I didn't even bother. I had to end up going to the club. I came from the club, I called her. A friend of her family answered the phone. So I'm like, hello, is Shay there? She sleep. She sleep. Why are you answering her phone anyways? But she know how I am. Why would you let somebody else answer your phone?
Because she knows you're a little jealous anyway. I got you. I'm going to let you respond, LaShaya.
I'm feeling like you don't want me. I'm not for you. You're seeking something else.
Did that mean anything to you? If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. So, LaShaya, you tell me your version of the event when you were out of town and Trinae says you didn't call.
Once again, I moved out here for her. I deserted myself away from my family, my best friend, everybody for her, just to prove to her that she can trust me. So I don't talk to anybody. Where I live at, I have no family members. It's only her and her family. I went to the whole time, I went to all of her family members, barbecues,
events, anything that went on. Okay.
Even family reunions, I did it all. When my family has stuff, she doesn't go. She won't go. She makes an excuse. I didn't even, the times that I just started going. Just started going back there to stuff. So the 4th of July was our annual family reunion barbecue. I told her I wanted her to go. I went and picked her up. She's, oh, no, I'm cool, I ain't going. Why aren't you going? They don't like me. They don't like you. We've been together 5 years, been married 1 year. She hasn't even met all of my family members.
Trinae, did she offer, did she say, can you go? Did she want you to go?
She did want me to go.
Now, given that she wanted you to go, do you really believe that she was going there to have an assignation with somebody else?
She didn't answer the phone. I didn't talk to her at all. The whole time she was out the Friday,
Do you think
Saturday,
maybe
Sunday.
she might have been a little angry?
For what? I didn't talk to you to be angry.
How you didn't talk to me if I came to pick you
she ain't
up?
been in my family.
Trinae, let me tell you what your problem is. Your problem is you can't hear anybody. You are so angry and frightened and convinced of betrayal, you can't hear what anybody's telling you. You have no empathy for her. You can't even begin to entertain how she might feel at all because you're so busy and consumed with how you're feeling. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, you're not gonna say anything. You're gonna turn around and look at your wife. And I want you, LaShaya, to tell your wife what it is you're feeling and how what she does hurts you.
I'm feeling like you don't want me. I'm not for you. You're seeking something else. You hurt me. And I don't know what it is. Like, you treat me like an enemy, and I'm not your enemy. Like, I want to be a team. I want a foundation. I want us to build things together with our family. That's all I want. I'm tired of fighting with you. I proved everything that I can prove to you, and I ran out of answers. I ran out of options. I don't know what else to do.
Trinae, would you admit, did that mean anything to you?
It did. Yeah.
Would you admit that you're a bit of a hothead?
Yeah.
Did you walk into a marriage afraid that it just wouldn't work?
No. Or yeah and no. I thought we was gonna work. I really did. When I married her, I married her because I loved her and I wanted to be with her.
But you were together 5 years, but the marriage is ending after 1. What changed?
Everything. She don't cook. She don't do nothing. She don't give me sex like I want. She don't do nothing.
Appreciate nothing that I do.
She always argue. That's all she do. All we do is argue.
Does she work outside the home?
I do too.
If you both work outside the home, why is it not both of your responsibilities to work inside the home?
That's what I want. that.
Do you do that? Do you do any work
Yeah, I
inside
do.
the house?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I don't believe you.
I do.
In divorce court, couples tell me everything about their relationships. Want to share your experience? Join the conversation on our Twitter page at Divorce Court. On Facebook, check out other fans and their intimate issues. You know everybody has something to say about love. What's on your mind? Trinae, you're in divorce court, and you're in divorce court for a reason. Your wife is leaving you. I don't believe you want her to leave, but I believe that she is so bereft of any love, of any concern, of any care, that she has no options other than divorce you. I think you're going to regret your inability to give anything at all because you're so afraid that she's doing something that she isn't doing. I think you're going to regret having to give up a relationship that lasted for 5 years because you can't appreciate what you have because you're so afraid of the possibility of being made to look foolish. Do you see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
You're going to lose the best thing that you ever got next to because you're stuck on anger about something that's really not going on. If I were you, I would try A, listening to my wife, B, not being so aggressive. People don't want to get charged at all of the time, even if your comments are correct, even if your concerns are real, you can't communicate them with a missile. You know, you could have the truth written on a missile, and you can send that truth through the air in that missile. But the missile hits its target, the truth gets blown to pieces because it's delivered in a missile. It has no value. Right. You're doing a lot of collateral damage, and you're not getting your message read. Now, if you float that sucker over there in a bottle, she could open it up and read it. And she could actually have a conversation with you. And she could actually satisfy some of the needs that you have. Your problem is you. You need to fix you, and then you might be able to keep her. This matter is adjourned. When you yell at people, you don't.
A partnership can't survive if only one party is making an effort. A one-person partnership is just that, one person. On today's case, Ms. Jones says she feels like she's in a partnership of one. She says that for the past 8 years, she's been forced to take care of everything alone because when she doesn't, they end up either evicted or in debt. Ms. Jones says that while Ms. Prim can't find time to manage their business, she's found more than enough time to cheat on her, and that has Ms. Jones seeing red. Ms. Prim says she hasn't done one thing wrong, and she's tired of seeing her partner's accusing finger pointed in her direction. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Jones versus Prim.
Thank you very much. Ms. Jones, you're here in court today because you say you are tired of being disrespected and deceived by the person you trust and love unconditionally.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Prim, you say you're tired of your girlfriend playing the victim and you are here to finally speak your truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we are going to figure out how you all have been together for 8 years but ended up here in my courtroom. Ms. Jones, why don't you start? Why are we here?
Your Honor, we are here today because Miss Prim is a liar. She's very irresponsible. She's even gone as far as to costing us our livelihood. On top of that, I would not be surprised if she was cheating. I've been suspicious of that for some time now.
It sounds like a whole lot of stuff is on your list of what's been going wrong with the relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'll then turn to Ms. Prim. Ms. Prim, what say you to the accusations that this relationship has changed because of your behavior?
It's just a lot of accusations. You know, it's supposed to be a partnership, but I feel like it's more of she's my parent and I'm a child trying to figure things out.
So I'm going to take you back for a little bit. You met in 2014. Tell me how you met, Ms. Jones.
We met at a strip club. I'm a rapper, so I make my rounds. She was dancing at the time I walked in. We locked eyes. It was a moment. However, we had a mutual friend that was there who told me she had a crush on me. So when she came off of her set, I pursued, and we've kind of been inseparable ever since, like 8 years. But
So you kind of got a little Missy Elliott vibe to you. I'm feeling you. You got a little Alicia Keys, Captain, little look. Okay. All right, I'm feeling you both on this. So you all thought to yourself, maybe this is a good match. And for 8 years, you've been trying to make it work. So help me to understand. You start telling me you think she's cheating? Why don't we start with that?
Yes, her profession is dancing. I've never had a problem with that.
Well, you can't have a problem with it because you met her when she was dancing.
Exactly. I'm an entertainer too. That's what we do. However, this one time in particular, I go to the club to support her. She didn't know I was coming. I get there. She's with one of her regulars, which is fine. However, they're cheek to cheek, nose to nose. It's just giving a bit much.
In a strip club, as we should be.
I go to strip clubs regularly.
Okay.
I'm not cheek to cheek with anyone there.
But wait a minute, hold up now, because we need to be real about what these professions are. As a rapper, you're probably out very late at night sometime. Right. You're going to do gigs, and Miss Prim has to trust that you, with whatever groupies there are, you know how to toe the line, and you put boundaries in. Miss Prim has to agree to that. So now I have to turn it back over here. I don't frequent strip clubs, but everything I know about the strip club is the only way she makes money is if she's friendly with the clients. And she has to know where her boundaries are so she doesn't violate the law. And what are those boundaries so that we're all very clear?
I do lap dances, yes. Maybe that's $20 a lap dance. So I can make $300 to $1,000 a night just alone from lap dances. If you come in accusing me all the time of cheating, how am I supposed to make my money? How am I supposed to
accuse you all the time? When I, after she realized I was there, which was after the lap dance was over, which was when they came out holding hands, exchanging phone numbers, and a kiss was exchanged.
There was no kiss exchange.
I waited till we got home to bring the issue up because it shouldn't have happened. You have to have boundaries.
Who was this person, and is this person a threat in your relationship? That's all I need to know.
No, not at all. He's just someone that comes to the club, and for me giving him my number, now if there's no customers, I can call him up and be like, come to the club.
You can do that same thing on your social media.
No.
But Miss Jones, here's my question. If you don't have any proof that Miss Prim crossed the line, why would you say she was cheating by simply engaging in a more familiar way with one of her clients? What did she do to make you say she was cheating with this person?
Your Honor, this is consistent. I can tell you another time where we were at the grocery store. She's talking to a girl. I come over, not because she's talking to the girl, but because I have to put the groceries in my hand in the cart, and I'm there. She doesn't even introduce me. They continue their conversation. I introduce myself. How you doing? I'm Pearl. And at the end of the conversation, the girl says, hey, why don't we exchange numbers? And she's just like, oh, absolutely. Still didn't introduce me to the girl as her girlfriend. Still exchanged numbers with this girl right in front of me. Of course, I waited for the girl to leave. I questioned her, like, what was the exchange of the number for? Because that is I don't get why everyone
She doesn't like
number.
You giving your phone number out.
I've known this girl for years. Mind you, when
I've been with her for 8 years and never heard about this girl.
When she first told me the situation, I didn't even remember what she was talking about.
Because she does it so often.
Because I'm a friendly person.
You do it often.
We talk every...
We can solve this really, really, really quickly. Ms. Prim, your girlfriend does not like it when you exchange numbers with people that she doesn't know. She doesn't like it.
Basically.
That's really what the bottom line is. I don't know what you have done or said in the past that has made Ms. Jones feel like there's always something nefarious going on. But if I'm in a partnership, in a relationship, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, if I know there's something that I do on a regular basis that irritates my partner, I try everything in my power not to do it again. That's just me. It's a trigger. That's the best way to put it. If I know it can trigger a whole rigmarole, I can avoid it very easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You establish what your triggers are, and then you purposefully try to avoid the triggers, unless somebody's trying to push somebody's button.
Right.
Then we get to, are we doing it on purpose? Ms. Prim, you tell me. Is it something that you do on purpose?
No, it's definitely not anything that I do on purpose. You know.
Okay.
She
Just give me a
physically
moment.
followed me to the club I'm working at and argues with security, argues with a customer I'm with. So at that point now, I'm losing a customer, I'm losing a job, so I'm losing
And a
money.
girlfriend that you don't care about that part, right?
We're both in the industry where we meet a lot of people. You know, me being a dancer, a bartender, and her being a rapper. You know, we have to be friendly.
Yes.
You know, especially in that industry. You know, you never know when somebody's going to introduce you to somebody, and you know, things like that. So for me, exchanging numbers, it's never about trying to cheat or being in situations like that. It's for business purposes. It's never like, oh yeah, let me just...
Everybody doesn't need to have access to you.
Okay, but Ms. Jones, now we'll turn to you. Ms. Prim and I have come up with a way that we're going to avoid triggers, but you can't have a hair trigger anger button either.
Right.
If Ms. Prim is saying that that's the way she does business, you have to be respectful of the way she does business. She's
Your
respectful
Honor.
of the way you do business. Because suppose she doesn't want everybody to have your email address. Relationships are a negotiation.
I agree.
All the time.
1,000%.
Okay? And so if Ms. Prim is just saying, this is the way I do business, if you establish that there's trust in the relationship, then you have to actually act on that trust. That's how relationships work.
I totally understand, but she's lost a lot of my trust. We went in business together. We had a t-shirt and hat company. We had a actual store, and we went 50-50 in on this. So we make accommodations as you do in relationship and in business. This particular time, I was out of town for 4 months. When I returned, we had an eviction notice on the store. The store was literally undergoing renovations, so no one was there. And when I returned, it looked like the place wasn't even swept. She didn't even go to collect the mail. She didn't go to do anything.
So let's just ask some real tough questions.
And I did bring proof.
Okay. Oh, I see the notice to tenant. The purpose of the attached complaint is to permanently remove you and your belongings from the premises, better known as get out. That's an eviction notice. If you have a 50-50 business, obviously you have to sit down and talk about how the business is going to run.
Right.
So what was the agreement while the 4 months were going on? Who was supposed to be paying the rent?
So we both agreed to pay the rent. We speak every day, so if there was any issues in paying rent, I should have been communicated with.
Okay, but so for 4 months, did nobody pay the rent?
So if you look there on the eviction notice, 2 months went unpaid.
Ms. Prim, why did you all get evicted?
The last 2 months, they weren't being paid.
Would you agree that you dropped a ball?
I can say that.
I mean, it took us to stand in front of your...
You dropped a ball.
I did.
Did you have a conversation, the two of you, about what mistakes were made? And
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did.
And did you acknowledge at that time that you dropped the ball?
I did.
Not
Yes, I did.
Pinocchio, please.
Yes, I did.
Why is there such contention in
Because
here?
Because she's not
overbearing.
No,
She's
not
overbearing.
at all. She's always so nonchalant. Like she know not what she do. You know exactly what you're doing. We speak every single day. There was no reason why I was not unaware that she didn't pay the rent.
So, Ms. Jones, it's very clear to me that business partnership was probably not a good idea.
Can I just address her directly?
Absolutely. This is your safe spot.
I can't see myself with anybody else. And I don't want to. I just want to ask you a question.
Right.
If you'd like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. Ms. Prim, it sounds like she simply doesn't trust you. What is that about?
It's my profession. You know, obviously, meeting me there didn't change, you know, the fact, but I'm still doing it. I'm not just dancing, I'm bartending. I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing. There's a time where she physically followed me to the club that I'm working at.
You serious?
She
Just give me a
physically
moment.
followed me to the club I'm working at and argues with security, argues with a customer I'm with. So at that point now I'm losing a customer, I'm losing a job, so I'm losing
And a
money.
girlfriend that you don't care about that part, right?
But wait a minute, Ms. Jones, this is something that happens quite often in the courtroom, that one person in the partnership will be so annoyed by behavior of their other partner that they'll show up at their place of business and wild out or turn up. Isn't that the phrase we've been learning, Robert?
Turn up.
And the person who actually wilded out or turned up regrets it at the end because their partner can lose their livelihood. Why'd you go to her job that day?
Well, I just wanted to see her, support her. It wasn't even that.
She didn't need
it was
that. I'm talking about that particular day. Was there
there was
something
no
that
issue.
was going on?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is it a big deal? I didn't know.
There was another time where I was sleeping and I woke up going through my phone trying to find my social media account. I do have a different social media account where I promote what I do for a living.
Absolutely.
And it was gone. It was gone. So I physically had to hit them, like, email them. I went through a whole process to get that back because I have followers that come, to my job. I'm not cheating. I'm not doing anything. It's a job that pays for everything that we do half the time. So for me to have that deleted, now I have to go through a process with getting it.
You got your account right back.
Okay.
Wait a minute. First of all, it's an invasion of privacy. Let's start with that.
We have each other's Instagram
but I can guarantee you both don't have each other's permission to delete it.
I deleted it because I was out at lunch with a mutual friend of both of ours, and she was like, how do you feel about her account on this particular page that I knew nothing about?
And who was this Messy Bessie all up in y'all's business?
Well, she's my family member, but
she was still Messy Bessie because anybody that starts out a conversation like that already has an answer in their mind on what they expect to hear.
I agree, and I also assume that she thought I knew already. Because everybody else knew. Well, however, we sleep together at night, and I don't know you're doing soft porn on the internet now. One thing, you're in the club, now they can go on the internet and find you there too. Well, you could have been a foot model. There's feet models that make the same amount.
I know, but Miss Jones, here's the deal. First of all, folk need to stay out of other folk business. You don't allow people to start stuff up in your business because don't nobody know what's going on in your house. I really despise when family members and so-called friends start to put their set of values on other couples' relationship. I know people who've been married for 40 years, sleep in completely different rooms, but will stab you in the heart if you say something about their partner, because that's their partner. Right. That's their relationship. You don't get to be a part of that relationship. You see what I'm saying? So you all have to figure out what your relationship is, and when somebody is trying to be Messy Bessie, the first thing you're supposed to do is, I'll talk to my lady about that when I get home. That's it. That's called having her back. And even if you really want to get in her face when you get home, that's a discussion that you have with her. That's just the way real relationships work. I swear to you, if I do nothing else from this bench, is to give you the benefit of long time having made mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but I have learned that if you allow people to be in your business, you'll be the one standing there at the end of the day by your daggone self. I think I hit a nerve because you know.
Can I just address her directly?
Absolutely. This is your safe spot.
Look, I get it, we're here and we have our issues, but I feel like we would not be here if you didn't really care. Like, I love you. Like, I can't see myself with anybody else. And I don't want to. I just want to ask you a question.
Bae, no, before. I met someone.
What? What?
I'm sorry. I met someone.
Okay. What? Elaborate. Yeah.
And I just feel like 8 years, if it's not working, then I feel like we need to move on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You couldn't tell me that before we came here?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't think you are. Like, seriously. Yeah.
Ladies.
Like 8 weeks, you serious?
Ladies, relationships change. You've had 8 years, some really great ones, and some not so great. I want you to remember the great right now, because I know how you're feeling. I know you feel like you put your heart out there, and it was just broken. But you and I probably would agree it hasn't been working for a minute. I'm sorry that this is the way this went down. I think you probably both are really wonderful ladies, and you both deserve to be happy.
Thank you.
Today is going to be a bad day. You're not going to feel good about this. And guess what? You don't have to pretend you do.
Right. It's okay. She could have just said that before we came all this way.
Miss Prim.
Selfish.
You all are going to have to figure out if in some way the friendship will survive it. It's going to take a bit. I want you to be as good as you can be for yourself. Put on them big girl drawers, girl. Right?
Right.
And you be as happy as you can be. But in the next relationship, y'all try to find ways of communicating, whatever new relationship you have. And please treat each other with respect and dignity.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I wish it had ended in a way that would have given you both dignity, but more importantly, I'm glad it ends in a way that you can walk out with your head high, both of you. Good luck, ladies. Boy, Robert, that was heartbreaking.
I could hear a pin drop.
It's certainly tough to pull the bandage off in front of a third party.
Right.
But I'm glad that we had the opportunity to just chat to make sure that both ladies feel like they can walk away from this with some dignity.
It's unfortunate that she was gonna propose.
And it's unfortunate that she needed to tell her.
Right.
Because the last thing she wanted to do was accept a proposal and then tell her.
Exactly.
That's called a rock in a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
Wish them the best.
So do I.